is Ed from Delta-Therm. I'm going to show you how to install our new product, the DTC-40. The DTC-40 is a single point thermostat device that has built-in ground fault, and it directly switches the load. This can switch a load up to 40 amps. I'll just jump right in. The critical thing when you install the DTC-40 is to get the ground fault function. There's a toroid coil, which is like a little donut inside here, and the installation instructions is explicit in describing this, and there's also a diagram inside the door of the device. So when you attach your heating cable, you would take both of your conductors, run them in the same direction through the toroid coil, and then you would connect them to the load side of the contactor. So I could do all that, and then you would route your load wire to your heating cable, of course. So that's how you get the ground fault function. If you don't run those wires through the toroid coil, your heating cable will not meet code and be protected by 30 milliamp ground fault. This device can run at 120, 208, 240, or 277 volts. So when you place your order, you would designate that on the order sheet, and there's a control transformer inside here that we would tap so it'll operate at whatever voltage you tell us. And then you just run your incoming line power to the line and line 2/N, because of course line 2 would be neutral if it was 120 volts or 277 volts. You would attach that right here. So to demonstrate the device, I've attached, just for demonstration, a little zip cord here, 120 volts, just to show you how the device functions. So when it's got power to it, then you will get the power light button on. On the graphic overlay, there's a test and a reset. That does not turn the device on. The test and reset is specific to the ground fault function, like your receptacle in your kitchen. You got the little whatever beige colored button, and you got the red button to test it and reset it. So you can hit the test button on here, and this will go into alarm. This device is often placed someplace remote. So to make sure that you know you have an alarm condition, there are alarm contacts in here, and just take a low voltage pair of wire connected to that and send it to some signaling means. Maybe you got a button or a light or a buzzer or whatever. Make sure you do that, just so you're aware of that your device is not in ground fault. And then to reset it, you just press the reset button. Unless, of course, it actually is in ground fault, then you have to investigate the cable for damage. What this device has a thermistor, and the device is set at 40 degrees. So when the device activates, when temperature falls below 40, the device will come on, and it'll stay on until the temperature gets above 43. It has a 3-degree temperature differential built into it. You can use this for ambient. So you can put this out in the air, so whenever it's less than 40 degrees outside, your system will be on, which is pretty common for freeze protection of pipes. If you want, you can take this and physically attach it to the pipe. And in that case, it would be line sensing. So now you're turning the system on, and you're checking for a potential low temperature. So to set it for that, inside here, if you want to go for line sensing, there's a jumper pin. And if you put the jumper pin on low temperature, which is a standard jumper pin like you have inside most computers, if it's in low temperature alarm mode, whenever this thing sees less than 35 degrees, you're going to get an alarm. So if you have this in the wrong setting, you can get an errant alarm because, of course, this is going to fall below 40 degrees or 35 degrees or whatever, and then you get the alarm condition. If something happens to this cable, if this wire is either shorted or severed, you'll also get an alarm, which is another good reason to use the alarm contacts in the device. When you're setting the device up and you want to check to make sure it's functional, just for whatever peace of mind or whatever you have that you did it properly. You can take the end point of this, you could put it in a cup of ice water, and after a minute or so, the device will turn on. Or if you don't want to do that, inside this little plastic bag, we've supplied a small resistor. So what you can do is you can disconnect this sensor wire, put this on across those two contacts, and then the device will think it's less than 40 degrees and it'll activate. And if you do that, just to make sure everything works, make sure you remove this thing and put this back in. Otherwise, this device will be continually on. That's basically what this device does. It's a single circuit, it can handle a very large load. If you want to have a device that's set at a different temperature, let's say 110 degrees for like a grease waste line, or if you're working on some kind of chemical application, let us know, and we will revise the software, revise the thermistor to make sure your system works for whatever application you want. But the device cannot be reset once it's in the field. It's all done here at the factory. Thank you.